Hi, welcome back to The Scent Advocate. I am at the end of a long day and I'm just unwinding with you guys. So here we go. Tonight's topic is going to be fragrance oils. So I got a question from a subscriber. I was so glad to get it. And it was about Francesca Bianchi, but the question was, what about the oil versus the eau de parfum, or I guess in this case, it might be an extrait. The question didn't have to necessarily relate to any particular fragrance, but I was genuinely curious, and I did not have a full bottle of the Code of Emotion. Instead, I only had a sample that came directly from Francesca Bianchi with another purchase. My purchase was of Gauguin, and I got two samples, one of which was the Code of Emotion. I loved it, and so I thought, what better to pick for a fragrance oil? And so I did, and it arrived. So this is the Code of Emotion Sublime Oil by Francesca Bianchi. It is 100 ml, and I have the sample. So I thought, and this is the first time I'm doing this because I just got home from work, I thought I would try it out and let you guys know what I thought. Now, I did sample the oil on my skin, but I have not compared the oil to the fragrance, the non-oil fragrance, I guess, the eau de parfum or extrait. Now, interesting thing about the bottle, I love you, Francesca. You're probably not watching, but on the off chance that you are, I do get a little leakage from the bottle. This could be me. It could be an anomaly. Everything I've ever gotten from this house has been super high quality. So there's a little bit of leakage. Actually, quite a bit from the cap. But I have not, what can I say? This is my first experience with fragrance oil from Francesca Bianchi. Could be an anomaly. The fragrance is an amazing, fruity, slightly floral, musky. This is a masterpiece, just as the sample of the eau de parfum, I'll call it, but it could be an extrait, is. The feel of the oil on the skin is amazing. What I love about it, and I'm not sure what oils are in here, but it just melts into your skin. And it softens it right now everywhere, right? It's winter, but especially in upstate New York, it's very, very cold and drying. The heat creates a dry environment. And I did today, because I got this, I opened it up on my, as soon as I got to work, the package arrived early. So I opened it up and I tried it at work just on my hands. The back of my hands, and what a gorgeous, beautiful, it's not a dry oil sensation. If you can remember back to those bath and body type shops, they used to produce these dry oils that you could put on, and they really were dry. They weren't moisturizing at all, and this is very moisturizing, but it melts into your skin at the same time, similar to a dry oil. And the fragrance is incredibly strong. So it projects beautifully. The sillage is amazing. Longevity is fantastic. And because it was on the back of my hands, I washed my hands throughout the day and the fragrance remained. Absolutely beautiful quality. I love the Sublime oils. I'm so glad it was suggested to me. If I had to choose, well, let me just go through the motions here. Okay, so Sublime oil tested. Now, let's go to the fragrance itself. On paper and on skin. Okay, on the back of my hand here. And let me just make sure I got enough of the Sublime oil on my hand. It's just such an amazing, I don't know, blissful experience to have the oil on skin. It just melts right in. It's so soft to the touch. I love it. Okay. I get the difference. Yeah. I'll call it an eau de parfum. The eau de parfum is an eau de parfum experience. There's a strong kind of alcohol opening that settles down in moments to the opening notes of the fragrance, right? You get the more sharp opening notes. And then it settles down into what becomes the middle notes, which are their own thing. And then eventually it settles even further into the longer term fragrance, the dry down. With the oil, it opens up with the dry down. That is my experience. What you get at the initial experience with the oil is what you get. It doesn't phase from, the opening to the middle to the dry down. It is the dry down from the beginning, and it stays that way. I like that. I don't not like the fragrance journey experience you get with an eau de parfum or a parfum or an extrait or any of those. But I imagine it's not for everyone. I think in the testing of a fragrance, the oil might give you a more accurate understanding of how the fragrance is going to behave on your skin, because in what I'm experiencing right now, it opens with what you're going to get in the dry down. Whereas the eau de parfum, the extrait, if it is, or the parfum, does not. It goes through its phases. Yeah. The oil is richer. If this fragrance has, for any of you who try it, the Code of Emotion, if it has an edible quality to it, the kind of tropical fruit that you are hungry to eat and thirsty to consume at the same time. If you've ever been at that place where you're kind of thirsty, but you want something to eat, and only a citrus fruit or only a mango, only a pineapple will do, or they're there and they would be beyond satisfying. That's the experience you get with the Code of Emotion oil right from the beginning, okay? You just want to eat it. It is all satisfying. It is all gratifying. It is hitting the spot in every conceivable way. Oh yeah, this is sexy stuff. And it is right from the opening. The eau de parfum has more musk. It's a drier experience. It's less of a juicy bite. It's more perfumey, I guess. Yeah. The word that comes to mind is handsome when it comes to the eau de parfum. With the oil, it's lusty. Yeah. Same fragrance, different medium. There you have it. For what it's worth, I've got another one. This is Labo. And I happen to have a Lavande 31. This is the liquid balm. It's an oil versus a sample of the eau de parfum. let's try those. Now, I'm not going to do these on skin because I have bathed myself in Francesca Bianchi, but I have done this in anticipation of potentially making this video. So I am putting a little bit of the oil. Actually, you know what? I will. Let's go ahead. Let's go for it. On the skin here. Oil on skin. Be careful with these. The oil comes right out. So do mind the volume that you put out on your skin. Okay. And then we've got the sample. Oops, let's fix that light. Okay. And we've got the sample also on the skin. And let's see how we do. The Lavande 31 is a beautiful expression of lavender. It's very, very bright, happy. It's a little bit soapy. I happen to love it. Lavender can be dry and sachet-like, kind of old-fashioned smelling. Not in a bad way, just not necessarily something you want all over your body. Okay, and when it comes to all right, this oil is a little different. So different from the Francesca Bianchi. The oil here is more subdued. It's a more subdued fragrance than the more lively eau de parfum. If you want a more vibrant expression, go for the eau de parfum, in my opinion. If you want a more subdued, kind of rub it all over your body and get the residual hint of a fragrance, like you might with a cologne or an eau de toilette, the oil will do. And by the way, the oil is exquisite. It doesn't melt in as thoroughly in the beginning as the Francesca Bianchi oil, but this oil is thicker and I can actually see it doing wonderful things on my skin. I don't know if I don't think you can get it's really great quality oil. I'm not saying Francesca Bianchi's isn't. It is. It's just thinner. And this, I mean, it's a different, there's more viscosity, I think, in this one. And it is lovely. Oof. You just want to rub this everywhere. And the subtlety of the fragrance would allow you to do that. Whereas the Francesca Bianchi, I would be afraid of overpowering those around me using the Sublime oil everywhere. So take that for what you will. The Lavande oil is something I would put on before I go to bed. The fragrance, the eau de parfum, I would put that on before I go to work or before I go to a brunch or some fun occasion around Easter time. That's what I would do. So consider that before you go in either direction. How do they work together? I haven't tested it yet, and I don't think I have enough time in this video to do that. I will get back to you on it. A couple of wonderful other oils I've come across in my testing experience from the House of Versatile. I've got Oh My Chai, and it's a matcha. These are insanely gorgeous fragrances. My gosh. This is the medium that they came in. I don't know that they come in another. Now, it says extrait de parfum, but these are very high oil content. And if I didn't know better, I would say they were oil only. Yeah, these are very oily. So if they're not mostly oil, they come off as mostly oil. And so the notes in Oh My Chai, spicy chai, milk, cinnamon, smoky fir tree, creamy warm, cardamom, just stunning, 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 stunning. I smelled a sample of this and I absolutely had to have it. I went full bottle right away. And that was after my mother, who lives with us, took my first bottle because it was that great. Oh My Matcha. The notes in this one are matcha, milk, green notes, blueberry, warm vanilla, pancake, sugar, and pistachio. This is a bright gourmand beauty. I love it. Oh, it's so happy. It's youthful. And the staying power of these is pretty good. Pretty good. Not as strong in my experience as the Francesca Bianchi Sublime Oil, and stronger than the Labo. Well, stronger than the Labo liquid balm. It's a close second to the Sublime Oil by Francesca Bianchi. So have you tried the Versatile? They have a lot more fragrances. In fact, I may do a video exclusively dedicated to that house. I really think their fragrances are high quality and I don't hear enough about them. So let me know in the comments if you think I should talk more about them. I would really like to do that. And let me know your experiences with the eau de parfums, extraits, eau de toilettes, even relative to a same scented oil or balm. And if you aren't yet a subscriber, please consider subscribing if you like content about niche houses and indie brands. And give me a like if you like the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.